Hello, everyone. My name is Manny,
My name is Brandon,
and together we are the
the
Nerdlot.
Nerdlot.
And this, I guess, we're trying to aim for like a brand new season here. And by brand new season, I mean a whole different era. This right here, we're entering into the whole quarantine era of our lives, where the words social distancing kind of engulfs everything that we do right now, right?
It sure has. That's
All
pretty much our
right.
lives now.
It is our lives. And the fact that we're using Zoom right now, who by the way is not sponsoring us in any way,
You're more than
but
welcome to.
Zoom is the way that everyone is communicating nowadays, right? These last like 2.5 weeks or something now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I've been using Zoom for we've been re-recording podcasts with Zoom. Um, either that or Skype or Microsoft
Yeah.
Teams if you have MS Office. Just been a lot of virtual stuff. But Zoom has been the number one component of it. So nice
Yeah.
job. They did a good job. Their servers haven't crashed. We're still be able to do this. So good
Do you know
stuff. Good
do you
shit.
know Zoom is a public company or is it private still?
I don't know. I actually was going to Google who owns it. I'm guessing it's like Microsoft or Google or one of those
Oh
big
man.
time companies. I don't know.
Dude, if
Let's find
I had
out.
known, I would have bought like a shitload of stock in this,
Dude,
man.
tell me about
Yeah.
it. Well, I mean, it would have been worth shit right now anyway, but it doesn't matter.
By the way, it was just recently announced earlier today um that they are imagining that this whole social distancing thing is being extended by another month at least.
Yep, I just read that today
Now,
too.
our fearless leader had said that he was planning that we were going to be open by Easter, but I'm like, nah, that is not going to happen. And surely enough,
No, I
he
mean,
came
you
this
know,
long.
I don't want to turn this into a politics podcast, but he likes to talk just he likes to say things that are just on the tip of
Right.
his tongue. So what maybe a lot of people are hoping that it would be by Easter, and he hopes
Mhm.
that too. I mean, we all hope that, but
Right.
realistically, don't think so.
Yeah, it just seems like, there will be no resurrection this year. But anyway, and it doesn't it's not about politics. This is not about left or right anymore because this whatever happens straight from the top, it directly this isn't about like, oh, if this policy is going to like, oh, this is only going to be for the rich or like for the poor or whatever the case may be or for the right or the left. This is stuff that really is affecting every single person in this country right now. So, it's not really about left or right or politics or anything that now. This is essentially about, survival now at this point, right?
All right.
But,
So so I found Zoom is public.
let's buy stock.
Uh,
What's it worth right now?
that's what I was doing right now. I pulled it up. On January 7th, 2020, it was $71.90.
Now?
$151.71 a share.
Man,
It
we
peaked.
kind of, yeah.
Well, I mean, 151. Yeah, I know. 151 is where it's at. If we would have last week, it it peaked about like a month ago. It was at 107 on March 13th.
Okay.
So it was 159 about a week ago.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy stuff. Fun times.
Yeah. Now this episode now it's not going to be all doom and gloom or anything. Like I
No,
think
not
people
at
get
all. Not at all.
people get plenty of that just by watching the news nowadays. Even you turn on the radio and it's like the first thing you hear, right? Um, but here with us, we are the Nerd Lot. We talk about nerdy things, and basically, we have every episode that we've done in the past, they've mostly been, like very specific topics on specific movies or Marvel or The Mandalorian and all that. But today we say, like, you know what, let's just shoot the shit a little bit and let's talk about, how myself and my family are doing and you and your family are doing. And for the most part, as nerdy dads in this time, what are we doing to stay entertained and what are we doing to basically keep our sanity now? So what do you agree that's what we're gonna do?
Yes, I do agree. I think that's all we can do, dude. Just
Yeah.
there ain't shit else to talk about, brother.
Yeah, man. Like I feel like every movie that like potential movie that we thought we were going to talk about up until this point and now, like everything is pushed back. Everything is at a complete standstill. Productions in
Yeah, dude.
Hollywood. Netflix, everything is in a standstill. So like everything just like being released right now is stuff that's already been made, right?
Maybe our next podcast can be who can do the best Dr. Fauci impersonation.
Oh, this. Hold on.
I
By
I
the way,
I told you we can't do it, Donald. Shut up.
yeah, he's like, "Whoa, what do you know? You're just a doctor. You're doctor, okay? I'm the expert. I got all the good words." So
Yes.
stupid. But anyway, one of the ways that I've personally been coping with all this is that this I've
Hmm.
I've been drinking a lot during social distancing, man.
I'm drinking a little more, but not
Yeah.
not a lot because I would
Well,
you
not a
know
lot. Yeah, I'm not shit faced or anything like that, but yes, I find myself like at minimum 2 beers a day. I'll say
oh
that.
I haven't done that. No.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like, but by the way, you're completely working from home now, right?
I am completely from home. Yeah,
Yeah.
we spent like 2 days rearranging all my furniture. So I'm like in the corner of my living room, tucked away. I work there. I have two screens set up. So I was upstairs in my bedroom, but I just felt like too isolated. I didn't need to be isolated any more than I needed to be. Plus, one of the advantages of me being home right now is I get to see my son, who's actually
Yeah.
7 months today of this recording.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Man.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty exciting, and oh, my cats
I,
are running around. I was like, "What the hell's that noise?"
it's
Um,
all right. Well, that's reality. We're recording from home. And
exactly. So
normally, like,
but yeah,
yeah.
I'm home. So, and you are not though. You're actually going into the office, going back and forth.
Yes, I am. I am still, and I hate to use this word because it makes it sound like more badass than what we really are. But I do work. My day job is in healthcare, and so I'm deemed what's considered essential,
Yep.
right? So every time it's like like there are members of the society right now deemed very essential, and because I work in healthcare, I still have to kind of go in, and
You guys in Jack in the Box.
yeah. So we are still doing things, of course, to make sure everyone in our building is safe. So as soon as we clock in, before we even walk into the building, okay, as like out of the elevator and all that, we get screened. They take our temperature and they
Right.
ask us questions and do all sorts of stuff, and before we can proceed into our departments, right? And I work directly with our physicians and patients, so I'm like right there, like a few feet away from patients and all that. But I whenever I tell people that I'm going into work in healthcare, they think I'm like in the front lines. No, I am not in the front lines I'm not in the mess of it, right? Well, I am a few blocks away from, maybe like 2 blocks away, Huntington Memorial right here in Pasadena. Those people, they are in the front line, right? So in our building, we're not allowing anyone with a fever. That includes patients. Now our it's we're more of a medical center, so more specialized, and we do a lot more with orthopedics, burn
Right.
care and
Right.
all that. And funny enough though, because kids are not in school and kids are looking for ways to stay entertained, there's a good portion of them who are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, and they end up with broken bones and they end up
Yeah.
with us, right? So it's kind of like, we're doing our best not to we're doing our best to limit the amount of patients we're seeing, but there is an uptick in the amount of kids who are coming in because of injuries. It's going to happen, every time there's like a summer break or a spring break or anything like that, there's an uptick in the kind of patients, the amount of patients that we get. So I'm still working every day. And, me personally, as somebody who's like riddled with anxiety on a daily basis, every time I come home, I think in my mind that I'm bringing like that disease, that virus into my home to my children, you know? So, so we have to be very, very careful about that. And the only times I kind of go out, leave the house when I'm not at work is because I have to go get some groceries, or I'm doing my part to support small and local businesses in my community too. And so,
Dude,
it's
I
like,
saw that pizza you posted. That shit looked
yeah,
bomb, brother.
Yeah, big shout out to Skate Shop Pizza out here in Alhambra, man. If you get a chance, if you're in the area in Alhambra, California, it's funny because they had literally just opened a few days before we got locked down. So, but yeah, be cautious. I know everybody says, no, whatever you do, just stay home. No, it's impossible. You do have to go out and get like bare essentials. And bare essentials includes food, of course. So when we're not at the grocery, we just call in our order. A lot of
Yep.
these little small restaurants call in your order and, give them your info. And many of them will do curbside pickup, right? If they don't offer curbside pickup, then you just like walk in really quick, you grab your stuff and book it out, right?
Yeah,
And
I
go
mean,
straight home
my
and just
wife
go
and
straight
I,
home.
my
Yeah.
wife and I ordered islands last night. Went to go pick it up. We got a pizza from a pizza shop like a week ago. Um, so yeah, I mean, we try, and we have been going to Target a lot, getting supplies, using the drive up.
Hmm.
So they just take it to your car, or just like get out of the house, take your sanitizer if you want to take it, but you know, just don't do anything stupid. Take the bag, don't touch anything, make sure nobody
Yeah.
coughs on you. Like usual, if somebody's sick, just don't make sure they don't like freaking cough on you, and then you're
Right.
all right.
Just today, I had to go pick up like two things at Smart and Final up the street,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't get the cart. I get those little basket things,
Smart.
and so what I did is like they have those sanitizing wipes, right? They have those wipes. So I took one, didn't touch the handle directly. I grabbed it with the wipe, wiped it down, and then started carrying that thing around with me, right? And even after I took I put the basket down for the next person, I made sure, even though I know the employees are doing it, but I actually went and wiped down the handle myself,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
And
I did see the
doing
Target
my part.
employees doing it. Like it's
Yeah.
really impressive. Like they're really stepping it up. So I'm really impressed with all the department stores.
Yeah, and also, when I was in the queue waiting to pay, they do have like these decals on the floor now, where it tells you, instructs you where to stand. It says like, speak of social distance, stand here. So that when you're in line, you stand there and you make sure that you're at least 6 feet away from the person either in front of you or behind you. And I'm looking down there, and I'm near to like where the employees are, and I just find myself smiling. They're like, "Oh, everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, this whole social distancing thing, as far as the queue in line here, I'm a fan of it. As somebody who hates when strangers get too close to me, I feel like we should do this year round. Bottom line, just do this and just a lot more organized and make sure nobody's in each other's bubble.
Well, I mean,
And I'm okay.
especially
I'm
like
completely okay with that.
if you're in a line. Oh yeah, dude. Like I if there's one thing I hate lines. Like you can show me the best food that you've ever taken me to, and if I see a line outside the door, my interest will immediately drop by at least like 85%. I'll be like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's like
and
I don't want to wait for food, dude. Like there's so many options. Like
yeah.
what? But anyways, like if people in that line, enough line ranting, if they were 6 feet apart, I don't know. Maybe it's not as annoying.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
definitely.
I don't
So,
know.
so shout out to everybody at Smart and Final right here in Alhambra for making the shopping experience a lot more tolerable right now in this time, and a shout out to all the grocery store workers right now. Anybody who works in retail and those kind of things, essential
Yep.
businesses. Shout out to you guys. You guys are probably getting paid minimum wage to deal with people just
Hopefully not.
potentially, yeah. Well, I do know that there's a lot of business who are like upping the pay during this time, and all that, and a lot of employees who are, let's say, a lot more fragile, health wise. They've been telling them just stay home, but they're still paying them,
That's
right?
great. Yeah,
So
I
that's
like that a lot.
and pay close attention to all the businesses who are really doing their part to really just try to take care of their employees, right? So remember those businesses when all this stuff is past and hopefully soon. Um, just remember all the businesses who took care of their employees and keep giving them money afterwards. And because there are a lot of big companies out there who are essentially saying, "Well, I'm not going to pay you when you're off, you're furloughed, but I'm going to pay you off. You just got to tighten the belt a little bit, you know."
What about celebrities singing Beatles songs or John Lennon songs?
I I so Gal Gadot, right? Gal Gadot, is that how you say it? I don't
I
know.
think
Wonder
so.
Woman. She got a bunch of like celebrity friends to sing an excerpt from from Imagine by John Lennon,
Yes.
and they pieced it together so like it's the entire song. And I appreciate what they were trying to go for here, right? I appreciate it. But at this point in time, shut the fuck up. You are like the least essential people in what we want to be like, you just sit in your fucking mansion right now. You can afford to be furloughed for 2 years and you're going to be fine. Okay.
Or it's like if you want to be
Yeah.
essential, instead of making a stupid ass video,
Yeah.
donate a shitload of money
Yes.
or do something philanthropic, or organize something. And maybe they did, I don't know, and maybe that didn't get any press, but like what the world doesn't need is that stupid shit.
Yeah, and and it's not to say that I there are some singers out there who are doing live shows and performances like via Instagram and all that for their fans, and just we do need entertainment here and there, right? And so there are like individual artists who go and like let's say, hey, I'm gonna go on Instagram Live and perform some songs acoustic for about half an hour, and that to me that's cool, okay? But it's just the whole thing, you're trying to inspire us through like a fucking song. It's like, take a seat. All right. Take a seat. I appreciate what you were going for. I get it. All right. But just we don't need you right now. And
Stick to Wonder Woman stuff
yeah,
for now. For now.
for now, I'm gonna get like all right wing and be like, shut up and sing. Right. Uh,
Yeah, I mean,
but
and to be honest, like, and she probably is an amazing person, but
no, I'm sure.
and
I
all
like
those people in the video, bad move by you.
bad move, even though I am a fan of you, but at this moment just just go. But like for example, the other day Neil Diamond, when and they, they're changing the lyrics on their songs a little bit and they perform and they do one song, that's kind of cool. All right, that's kind of cool. Or but there's a message in what they're doing and changing those
Right.
lyrics, right? Like like I said, Neil Diamond did Sweet Caroline, but instead of touching me, touching you, it's like, don't touch me, don't touch you, washing hands, things like that. Something
That's
like that.
funny.
I'm like,
That's
okay,
funny.
that's
That's
funny.
funny.
That's cool.
And he's
Right.
also a singer. He does it for
Yeah.
a living. Like Gal
Right.
Gadot is not a singer. Those people weren't singers. But anyways,
Yeah.
like we're nitpicking here because we have nothing else to
Yeah.
talk about. But
This is the reality, man. This is the reality that we're living in, and that not just us, but the world is living in right now.
all right.
And yeah, so
Yeah.
that said, man,
What do you,
what
same time? What have you been watching? No.
what have you been watching?
Okay.
You first.
Me first.
Yeah.
So my wife started watching I think it's called On My Block or On the Block on Netflix. And it's with these like more so like Latino kids, black kids on it. They have some families, and it's about like it's like a Goonies from the hood, and I think you would like it, especially because you always talk about representation,
Okay.
and it's a good show. Like it's a little ridiculous. They it's really good music too, but it's just really goofy, but also good. Like it's enjoyable. So we watched the first season of that. On to season 2. It's really good. And we just started watching Tiger King, which of course we had to watch Tiger King.
Everybody's talking about that,
Dude, we can't have a show talking about streaming stuff if you haven't watched Tiger King.
So everybody keeps talking about that, and people have been messaging me. They're like, Manny, have you seen Tiger King? I'm like, nah, man. You know what I've been watching? A shitload of kid movies right now.
Oh yeah.
Because my kids are a little bit older than yours, right? So they pretty much control what's being watched right now on TV. However, I do sneak away, and when I can, I do watch stuff on my phone, right? So there are a couple of shows that I've been watching here and there, and there's a couple of movies that I'm able to sneak in, including Jay and Silent Bob's reboot or whatever it's called.
Oh, how was that? How was it?
Okay, let's talk about that. Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, don't ruin it because I
No.
still see it. Because it's the same premise, right? Everything's the exact same as
it's the exact same premise as Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
That's what I heard. Which
remember
was
that?
do I remember it?
Where they have to go stop the making of a movie.
Don't
That's
offend
it.
me. Don't offend
Yeah.
me. I watch Jane
Yeah.
Silent Bob Strike Back all the time. I am a member of the View Askew universe, so
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith. I really am. I love Mallrats.
oh
I
yeah.
love
Oh
Chasing
hell yeah.
Amy.
Oh
I
yes.
love all his other stuff, Clerks, all those. I'm a big fan. Even like Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
You're a tracer.
Uh, maybe
You're a
not.
tracer.
Hey, your mother's a tracer. But they so yeah, so anyway, I'm watching this and I feel like a lot of stuff that I found funny when I was like 23, like I feel like he's using the same exact jokes. So now that I'm like 38 years old, it's like, yeah, funny. It's funny, but it's just kind of like I get it.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
Like I like that. Look, I think
Yeah,
fart humor is probably the one that will get me until the day I die. But I can only laugh at so many dick jokes.
right. So yeah, so there's that. So and they know exactly what it is that they're making. They'll like turn and look at you and break that fourth wall and they'll be like, remember that dick joke, right? So it's like that. So just expect the exact same humor as like I'll just say Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Same humor, same type of jokes, level
Should
of
you?
same level of lack of maturity in what they're trying to deliver. Okay,
Fair
I'm
enough.
not saying it was bad. It's just like exactly the same. So it's almost like just go back and watch Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and it's the same fucking movie.
Yeah, if you want to watch them younger, do you
Snoogans.
right? Do you recommend taking a decent amount of legal recreational marijuana for this movie?
Yes.
Fair enough. There you
Yes.
go,
Yeah,
kids.
I think any fucking Kevin Smith movie you should try to watch on drugs anyway, right?
At least have
Um
a beer.
yeah, have a beer or just have something handy, try to be discreet, maybe one of these. But they just kind of
Was a dildo.
that was a dildo and I have to keep them small by the way. Look at this. But anyway, they so that's what it was. Exactly what it was. So expect Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. However, same jokes but updated to
Nice.
fit in the stuff that we're into now. Like when they talk about reboot versus remakes, and it's funny because it's almost like nothing happened between Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Reboot. So they have to catch up to all the recent technology of today. Like, what the
That's funny.
fuck is Uber? Right? The fuck is a reboot? Right? Things like that. Like they're like almost like they were just like living in like they were fucking Ant-Man and they were stuck in the quantum realm for
Well,
all this
dude,
time.
I mean,
Right?
Jay and Silent Bob, that guy, they didn't know what the internet was apparently in
What
2001.
the fuck is the internet? Right? Things like that. So it's
Fictional characters.
So, and then there's a bunch of cameos from other characters from other movies. Jason Lee comes in and plays Brody, same character
Nice,
that he did
nice,
in,
nice.
and he same character that in Mallrats. By the way, like I said, Mallrats, huge fan of that. One of my favorite soundtracks from the '90s. Things like that. But it's the same exact goddamn joke.
Well, you know what's crazy is that Mallrats probably wouldn't even get made today because people aren't in malls. I mean, shit, they're closed right now, but I mean, I'm sure they'll be open, but they're never going to be the same, dude. Like malls are just going to go away, and it's going to be a
Yeah,
bunch of
same.
stores.
They
Like,
they actually commented on that, like when they ran into Brody at the
of
mall, right? Because he actually owns a comic book shop at the mall now,
course.
things like that. So they even
What's it called? Is it called Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash?
something like that. But his it's like,
Because that's what they
bro,
actually own a comic book store called that.
if the world hasn't ended, and New Jersey is still around by then, I think that is one of my goals to visit that comic book shop in New Jersey.
Let's
I,
go.
I do want
I'm
to do it. And
down.
I think you and I need to go out and visit
And
that right there.
Nerdlot on the road.
And
I'm down.
now little by little, I've been trying to fix up the studio here, but so behind one somewhere over here is like because I have stuff in boxes still, and behind here is like all my comics behind that book somewhere over there. So I'm still a big fan of comic books, graphic novels and all that sort of stuff. I'm not a huge like I wouldn't call myself a huge fanboy of like the movies and all that, but I have been reading them for a long ass time before it was goddamn before like nerd. culture was the norm, right?
Before you can
So
talk about it on a podcast and people might listen.
right, right, definitely. But yeah, so I watched that one right there. My wife's been watching Queer Eye.
Mm.
What it's not called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy anymore, but it's like Queer Eye something.
I think it's just called
Um,
Queer Eye now.
huh?
I think it's just called Queer Eye now.
Queer Eye, yeah. So I came home the other day. I usually get home at around about 1:30 ish now, and she's watching this, and I'm like, "The fuck are you watching?" And she's like, "Oh, Queer Eye." So then I start watching it for it's like maybe like 2/3 into the episode already, and I find myself smiling because I'm like, "This show's actually pretty good. It really is. It really is pretty good." As long as you're not like some fucking raging homophobe, then I think you'll be able to find because there's actually a lot of heart in what they do,
Oh, of
and
course.
a lot of heart in connecting because they're not just making over like a dude, like there's wardrobe and like his car, like the way he his appearance or anything, but they are like incorporating a whole lot of changes into their life. I'm not saying that they're making them gay or anything like that, but they are like the episode that I was watching, they were working with a pastor from I think like Georgia, like in the Atlanta area or something like that. And so this pastor,
So
really nice
he
guy.
probably loves gay people.
Well, that's one of the things that they touched up on is like, the fact that like he was raised to believe that homosexuals,
Yeah, I bet.
were a certain way. And so bottom line at the end of the episode, he said something along the lines is like, that's how I was raised, but people change, people uh, learn new ideas, new concepts and all that. So he actually sat with them and said, you know what, from now on, not only are you welcome in my heart, you are welcome in my home, this and that, blah, 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 blah. It was just a really well done episode, I think. And so I would recommend it, give it a shot. You might actually enjoy it.
No, it's not surprising because when my wife and I were before we got married, we started watching this show called "Say Yes in the Dress," and you probably have seen it before.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in its initial run, it is a cute show. It's gotten way overblown, but
Yeah.
even that kind of show, you see there is good, there's heart. You connect with the families
Yeah.
because you're going through similar
Yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. I get it.
Well, and you feel like you connect with this stuff a lot more now because a lot of the let's say in a show like Queer Eye, a lot of the men that they're like making over, um they when watching past, all these men are like basically men are like their late 30s. They're family men already, right, for the most part. So now that we're family men and we're like ourselves, we kind of relate to what these dudes are kind of going through, right? Because a lot of guys, sometimes you get like to the point where you're like a dad and your whole function is to be like a dad and a husband, and you kind of forget to take care of yourself a little bit more, right? You forget to
Shower. Remember
focus
to
on
shower.
you forget to focus on you a little bit more and all that. So that's what these shows are kind of like about. So they're not trying to make you more effeminate or anything like that. No, they are embracing, they are taking who you are and accentuating it, right? They're taking who you are and like kind of building on that. They're very, very, I should say, they're very sensitive to your upbringing. They're very sensitive to your style, your personality, and all that. And they find ways to build on that. So as a dude, even then I say like give Queer Eye a shot, man. I think it's a pretty solid show.
Nice, man. I'll give it a
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah, I think you'll like it. Yeah, I think we should do an episode once things, maybe for next one we'll say like, hey, we'll watch one particular episode. We'll say like we do maybe, hey, maybe you and I can do like those Netflix friend things that people are doing right now.
What is that?
So on Google Chrome, there's an extension that you download, right? So let's say I start a Netflix party. So the
Hmm.
extension is like, I start and I pick the show or movie, and then I will send you the link, and then you click on it. And assuming you have the Google extension, it just takes you straight to your account. It tells you to log in, and whatever I'm watching, you're watching it at the exact same time.
Mm.
But even on the side of the screen, there's, remember like group chat that you used to have back in the day, right there. So like everybody who's watching, you can comment on it as you're watching the
Nice.
movie. Yeah, so yeah, I think we should do stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super down.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll check out Queer Eye. You got to check out On My Block. I'm telling you, man,
on
you'll
my
like
block.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's up your alley, dude.
Um. So the other thing that it's happening because because movie theaters are closing down, obviously for good reason. Not closing down as in like, oh my god, they're going away. No, but their doors are closed right now. Now,
Temporarily shutting their doors.
unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of smaller mom and pop run theaters, like second run theaters, who are not going to be able to recover from this.
Yeah.
And those are the theaters that I still like to frequent, right? So one of the things that I did, there's a theater once every so often. My family and I would go up to Bishop, California, a small town,
Hmm.
and there's a small theater called the Bishop Twin there. So what I did was just to help them out, get things going, because I've really gotten to know the owners and the people who work there. And so I went in, logged in, and I was able to say like, hey, you know what? Let me give me like $60 worth of gift certificates, for whatever. I may not get around to using them, but give it to me and like and then a prepay, and then kind of do my part to say like, here's some money, and then when things clear up or the next time I'm in Bishop, just remember me and I'll go ahead and use them. But yeah, so and that's what
That's
I've been
great.
doing. Yeah, I've been doing reaching out to my local theaters, mom and pop ones, and then little art houses, and say like, hey, let me do my part to support to make sure you guys stay open, man. But anyway, for bigger movie theater chains and studios, what they're doing is like, there's a lot of movies who, oh, actually, it's funny that we're talking about this now, because in the last episode that we recorded, I had said, hey, wouldn't it be funny if movie theaters or movie studios said, you know what, instead of releasing it in theaters, let's just give it to you right there on video on demand. And like 2 days later, what they do, they announced that they're gonna Universal Studios was gonna release The Invisible Man and The Hunt and whatever. And then all of a sudden, Disney comes out and says Onward, because Onward had been open for like a week,
Yep.
right? And they're like, oh, guess what? It's available to buy on iTunes now, but then it's going to be available to stream on Disney Plus on April 3rd. And then so all these other studios kind of started following suit now. And a lot of movies that, let's say, they opened about a month ago, they decided to release them on digital a lot sooner. So last week we got Birds of Prey now. I actually got me a copy on digital, and I started watching about 10 minutes of it, by the way, and I had to like turn it off because I had to go do some like conferencing thing. But anyway, the first 10 minutes that I saw, I was actually really enjoying it. Birds
Good.
of Prey. And I hated Suicide Squad with a motherfucking passion. I hated that movie. And this one, I was into it. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah,
I,
this is
I
actually
heard
going
I
well.
heard good things. I heard good things, or
Yeah.
better
So
things than Suicide Squad for sure.
yeah, so tomorrow, Tuesday actually, even though the movie was released on like Valentine's Day weekend, Sonic the Hedgehog this Tuesday is going to be available to buy on iTunes and whatever other
And I
Voodoo,
want
and
to watch that.
yeah, so there's that, and also Bad Boys for Life. They're releasing early also.
Mm,
So there's a lot of movies that, like, let's say
don't
it's
care
and
about that.
Rise of Skywalker, that got released a lot sooner on digital too. So that's what's starting to come in. So like basically everything that's been you know already released, they're just releasing it on digital a lot sooner. But there's talk now that they might actually do that with Black Widow.
Maybe.
They might do it with Black Widow, because Disney's like bleeding money right now, man. They
I
are just
mean,
the parks
yeah,
are shut.
they're fine. They're
Yeah,
not
but
losing any money, dude. I mean, they're losing potential money, I guess. But like, there's
the problem here is that um people say like, well, we're gonna extend this whole social distancing thing by another month. I think it's gonna go even longer. I
oh, of
think it's gonna
course.
go
Like,
well into June, man. Like
oh yeah,
even into summer.
we're not gonna see sports
Yeah,
again until June, and with no
yeah.
fans. And then we'll be lucky if Disneyland opens by July. To be honest.
Something like that, right? And meanwhile, I'm still paying for my fucking annual passes, by the way. But I'm sure they'll be able to compensate people like in
Exactly
some
why
way, like
Disneyland is just
extend it.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think they will.
yeah. So, but that said, I'm gonna get myself Sonic the Hedgehog this Tuesday along with Bad Boys for Life, and I think 1917 is available now already, also.
Now
So you got to
that
do
one
that.
I need to see 1917.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that. So there's ways for you to find entertainment on streaming or video on demand now, and all that. So people are kind of like running. I mean, what other option do you have?
None. I mean, if you want to keep people at this point, like it, Disney's always been really good about putting out content where people are, and right now people are home. So there's no point of
Yeah.
releasing stuff in the movies if you want people to see it. And like Warner Brothers did, they were smart. They immediately pushed James Bond back to like freaking December or like Thanksgiving. So they're
Right.
like, okay, well, there's no way we should not be in the situation by then. Um, Big movies, I agree with pushing it. I mean, I think at least people can go to a movie theater by December or November. Um, but I don't know what Black Widow is. I don't know if it's a big movie. I don't know if it's a little movie. It was probably going to make like $800 to $900 million. I
Uh-huh.
imagine we guessed that in a few previous
Yeah.
episode.
I don't think it would break a billion.
No,
But it's still going to make crazy money with the theater release and the the essential. I mean the eventual home releases and all that stuff, right? And then once it'll go into circulation and all that, and it'll just fine. But I don't know. I think for now, I think people just kind of have to scroll through the Netflix catalog. And I do follow film Twitter. That's a thing, right? Film Twitter is like a community of people who are really into film and discussing ideas and just talking shit to each other on Twitter. But I've seen a lot of like younger uh, amateur film critics there who are complaining, just constantly crying on fucking Twitter, talking about how like, oh my god, we have no movies to watch because nothing's gonna be released. And I'm just like over here like angry man
dude.
yelling at cloud saying, you fucking losers, do you realize this is the perfect opportunity for you to hunker the fuck down and catch up on thousands and thousands of movies that you have never seen? You
Yep.
do realize that movies were released before the Avengers, so there's tons of
Wait,
movies.
wait,
And
what?
if yeah, there were movies in the 90s too, man. So so I'm like, there's these motherfuckers, they're like on there like, oh my god, what am I gonna review? Have you ever watched Speed? Huh? Have you ever watched
Yeah,
Independence Day,
dude.
you piece of shit?
Have you ever
Right?
thought about a bus that can't stop, that is rotating and going
Yeah,
around an
man.
airport? Come on, man. That's golden stuff.
50. Gotta stay above 50. All right. So
Ever had
there are
Dennis Hopper
tons
had Dennis Hopper chase after you? It's frightening.
with his fucking thumb like this throughout the movie, right? Like that. See, I blew up my thumb. But yeah,
It's like,
yeah, there are tons of movies that you can watch and catch up on, right? Tons. And if you guys are just running out of ideas and what to watch, reach out to me, reach out to Brandon, right? Hit us up on Twitter or
yeah.
Instagram, where the fuck do people go to,
So,
and
to,
and and we'll give you recommendations of what
oh
to
yeah,
watch.
to piggyback on what Manny is saying, we have a whole list of movies we were going to talk about, and probably still are going
Yes.
to talk about
Oh yeah. Well,
for
yeah.
their anniversaries. They had team movies that are turning 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old. We have a whole list of them. So um, when we talk about those, if you haven't seen them, go rewatch them. And we'll put this list out. Well, we're going to get together. We'll talk about it. We'll make a post about it. So that way we can have a schedule and you guys can see. So that way you can watch what we watch. So you'll have that list. And
Mhm.
just do a fucking Google search, to be honest. Like,
Yeah.
do a Google search and classic movies the year you were born. You can do that. You can do movies. To be honest, like, how about all the movies that came out last year? Did you even know how many movies did you watch last year? 3. I mean,
Yeah, you can still go back a couple of years and watch that movie where that chick fucks a fish, right? But
what was
I kid. I love that movie. I love The Shape of Water, right? Big
The
fan of
Shape of
Guillermo del
Water? There
Toro.
you go. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And yeah, you know what? You don't even have to like Google that deep, right? Just literally go on imdb.com and search movies released in, I don't know, fucking 1993, and you'll get the full list of movies that were released that year. Focus on years, right? You can say movies released in 93, 94, whatever, 2002, whatever the fuck, right? So do it that way, right? Tons of great movies released in the 90s.
Watch Surf Ninjas. Just watch that.
Surf Ninjas, yes, released by New Line Cinema, starring Leslie Nielsen as the villain. If you guys don't know who Leslie Nielsen is, fuck off, right?
Yep.
Because you've
And
obviously never seen the Naked Gun movies.
or Airplane. Go watch Airplane too.
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Yeah,
right?
that's all David Zucker stuff. We should have a little David Zucker tribute because
We
David
should,
Zucker.
dude.
I
Actually, you mentioned that, and I think the Naked Gun trilogy is available on Netflix.
Oh, dude, we should do that
We,
because
okay,
he
next
has
episode, let's do it.
he has that, and he has maybe my all time favorite.
Don't say Spy Hard.
No. Oh, Spy Hard's great, by the way. It is so good. I actually know one of the people that were in it. Like he was my brother's
Okay,
former teacher. But no, I was going to say basketball. It is
basketball.
it is by far one of my favorite stupid movies because there's categories. You have stupid movies as its own category for sure.
Right. And there was a while there were like a lot of spoofs like that, right? There was like in the mid 90s, there was the whole thing about that, like basketball. It
I
was kind
mean,
of like the Beavis and Butthead era.
oh yeah, dude.
That's what that was.
Dude, I got homies where we can just recite that movie nonstop,
Yeah.
line for line. It's pathetic. But anyways.
I'm having a great time with this conversation right now.
Yeah,
actually.
I know. It's a lot of fun.
'Cause there's like no real goal. We're just kind of like shooting the shit.
And I think
like
that's what I've been telling you. I think that I was looking for this episode because I knew we had nothing really to talk about. There's nothing releasing. And that's why even like with sports, like there's a bunch of classic games on right now, and it's actually been pretty dope. Like to be able to watch these classic games, and to they had MJ's when Michael Jordan scored 55 at the Garden in 1984, and it's like I don't know, I haven't seen that game maybe ever. Shit, I was 9 years old when that game first aired, and it's not like it's airing every day. And with like my son's only getting older, I'm only going to have the TV for a certain amount of time before he's going to be like, I want to watch this. He already
Welcome to my world.
exactly. Look, one show I didn't watch, I didn't mention is a show that I am watching. It's called Little Baby Bum, and it's that's what he likes to watch.
Baby shark, do 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 do.
Haven't seen that.
Shark. The wheels on the bus go round and round.
That he
round
loves.
And
he
round,
loves that song.
Round
Loves that
and
song.
round.
Who doesn't love
Wheels
that
on
song?
the bus go all round and round, all through the town. Welcome to Parenthood.
Oh yeah,
I could have
I
told
love
you
it.
that way before Malcolm was born.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, so there's tons of stuff out there you can watch, and even ESPN. From what I understand, last I read, maybe yesterday, at ESPN, because they have no sports to show, they're actually showing sports movies, right? So that's another thing. That's another genre you can look for: sports movies.
Oh yeah,
like
I mean,
Rudy, Miracle, The Replacements,
Coach Carter,
Little Giants, The Sandlot,
Little Giants,
Rookie of the Year, Little Big League. You got Hoosiers. You got Necessary Roughness, right? Blue Chips with the basketball movie with Nick Nolte. Necessary Roughness. That was another great movie by Paramount Pictures, right?
Did you ever see that movie with The Rock, where he was the football coach?
No, not Coach Carter.
Gridiron Gang.
Gridiron Gang. That wasn't bad. That was bad.
No, that was good.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Glory Road?
Yes, Glory Road. Which was the one where like the entire team died or something? Was it Glory Road?
Oh, Marshall. I think that was.
We Are Marshall, or
I think that was Marshall.
We Are Marshall, and then there's Remember the Titans. And
okay. Remember the Titans. That is maybe the best football movie ever made.
You are wrong, because the best football movie ever made is, in fact, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves.
That is true. Never mind.
Change my mind. I dare you to change my mind.
I can't.
I should have a placard. I should be that meme, that guy sitting right there in the quad on that table. Replacements is the best football movie ever made.
Oh,
change my mind.
Best basketball movie ever made? Eddie.
Eddie? Yes. With the fucking Knicks.
Dude,
just the other day, I was thinking about that scene where she's teaching the guy how to, when you get charged, right?
Yvonne, take charge.
Yeah. Charge, don't prove charge.
Well,
put your feet down, right?
That movie stars Malik Sealy, who is no longer with us, unfortunately. And dude, me and my brother laughed at that movie. I was so jealous of Whoopi Goldberg's closet. So many jerseys, every player. I was like, and the Knicks, obviously, they've been around since the 40s, dude. So they have some of the most legendary players. They have, you could have so many jerseys, and I was never so jealous of being there. But yeah, Eddie.
Yeah,
Eddie.
I love that we both said Eddie at the exact same time.
Dude, what are the
Eddie.
odds? What are the odds?
I'm so glad you didn't say some shit like Air Bud. Um,
Uh, that's a weak ass movie, dude. That's a
yeah,
weak ass sports
Air
movie.
Bud. Remember the one with Kevin Bacon where he goes into like an African town or
Oh,
something, like an
they're up
African
there.
village? The
They're up
Air
there.
up there. What's oh man, there's so many random flicks out there you can watch. You know what
You remember
90s
that?
movies
Did you remember that movie with Matt LeBlanc and the
uh
ape?
yes, was it like Ed or something like that?
I think it was Ed. I
Ed,
think it was
yeah,
Ed.
where he was like in a minor league or something, and like
Oh
one of
yeah.
the teammates was like an ape or something. Oh my god.
So many
Um,
sports movies. Rookie of the Year,
um,
great one.
Rookie of the Year, Little Big League,
Little
Little
Big League.
Giants,
Little Giants is probably the best one.
Little
That's
Giants. I think that you can watch that for free on Vudu or something like that right now. But yeah, dude, they're just like so many great flicks that you can revisit. And but you know what? 90s movies I've suddenly been like, excuse me, what I need to find myself a copy of? Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
dude.
I for some I just got to rewatch it.
That movie
Uh,
it's so bad but good. Like,
I want to rewatch Judge Dredd.
oh hell yeah, dude.
And but the movie that I'm like, the thing is that try finding something that's non-essential on Amazon right now, and it's going to take like 2 months to get to your house. But and it's way too expensive on iTunes. I'm like, I am not going to pay 17.99 for this. But Bubble Boy. I
Oh
think if there's
dude.
I think if there's one movie that's gonna have us connect with at this given time is Bubble Boy. Got the vato, right?
That was a trippy
No, I
movie. It
was never planning on cutting the vato.
had a lot of twists and turns, that movie.
When the like the cult leader was Fabio Bright and Shiny. Uh Bubble Boy. God damn it. Watch that movie. If you're watching this right now, watch Bubble Boy.
Oh yeah.
Um
Get going off.
I did not I wasn't planning on cutting the vato. But they yeah man, it's just like there's so much great stuff that you can send. And also if you notice right behind me I have a bunch of records. This is only like this portion of what I have, but they if you have if you're a fan of music, who isn't a fan of music, right? But if you're like a non-basic folk who relies on like Power 106 to tell you what is cool, then maybe it's time for you to revisit your old music collection, these albums that you haven't heard in a while, things like that. So I've been doing that as well. I've been revisiting a lot of albums that I hadn't played in a while. Like behind this thing right here is a whole like bunch of CDs that are piled back there. But yeah, dude, I just got to figure out what to do. But the thing that
Oh, let me
I've
let me let me let me
go
show you
ahead.
real quick what I got.
What?
That's what I'm doing. How about that?
Okay. All right.
I
It
was
says
like,
for like it's 10 years and above.
it's
So hopefully it's not too complicated for you.
it's for my son, but it's for me. No, no, it's not that complicated. Actually, this last part was pretty complicated. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh damn, dude, like what 10-year-old knows how to do this shit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's that. But the one thing that I've really been like, you know what, take this time to really focus on is on my creative stuff. And I don't know if you and I have talked about this, but I actually write. I'm a writer. So right now I'm like this one idea that I've had for a screenplay. I'm like before the social distancing thing is lifted, I will have a first draft completed.
Oh man, nice. I have a screenplay about 80 pages done of it. We'll talk off the air.
We should. We
Yeah.
should. Let's get some goddamn movies made.
Oh, well, we'll get some movies made in quarantine on Zoom.
Yeah. Hey, there you go, right here. We'll figure out like some practical effects or something like going on. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's scary times. But on a serious note, how are you personally, not only as a individual, but as a father and a husband? Like how do you really feel about all this?
Um, I feel okay actually. Now that I feel like the actual U.S. has their shit together, it took a
Do they?
while.
Do they?
I think as well as we're going to get, like
then
which is
then we're in trouble.
which is better than what we were. I mean, as it seems like, not to get too political, nobody wanted to be the bad guy in our free country, quote unquote. So it's like, now that I think that testing is better and we have a little bit more of, grasping what's going on, like, I'm just enjoying being at home. I'm enjoying the situation that I'm in, which is financially, my wife and I are actually okay. It's not
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh,
Um,
I'm very fortunate about that too.
exactly. So
And
I'm trying to focus really on the positives. It's like, we're okay financially. My son is too young to understand what's going on. I get to spend so much more time with him. I get to see him, starting to crawl. We get to build a relationship that has been, you know, tough because I have to go to work and I don't get much time with him. So
yeah,
now I get all this time with him. I get to spend more time with my wife, more time at home. I save money on driving, which I buy Legos with. So I try to focus on the positives in that aspect. The things that are weird is like, if I need something at the grocery store that is something small, like creamer for my coffee, or like if I want like a
I
bagel,
got your fucking creamer right
you
here,
know,
bud.
or if I want like just a cold brew coffee from
Yeah,
Starbucks, I can't get that anymore, and those are some of the things that are, adjusting. Those are first world
yeah,
problems. And
yeah.
you just you have to humble yourself and put yourself in a place like, I know this is temporary. I know it's for the greater good. I've seen what happens in other countries. I'm not an idiot. So let me do my part and just kind of chill at home and go on walks, go outside. Like, we don't have fucking police at our doors. Um, you know, and if they were, it's not like they're going to keep us inside. You're going to go on walks. They're just going to, if they ever do stop you, it's probably going to feel like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Are you going to try? I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't get to that point,
But
but
at least not in Los Angeles, not yet.
not yet.
If it ever gets to that point, I still have my medical badge, and I'm just gonna be like, at some point if I get pulled over and be like, "Where are you going?" I'm just gonna put it to the fucking window and be like, "Little Dallas Multipass," right?
Multipass.
Multipass, Multipass, Little
Is
Corbinales,
Hopefully
Multipass.
everybody gets that reference, and then
Yeah,
we won't say what it's from. We'll
no,
move on.
no. Let us know in the comment section, like if you knew you got that reference. But me personally, I think I've been thinking about this a lot, and I do my best to try to stay off Twitter when it comes to this stuff because, yeah, you do hear our many of our representatives who are just still not taking this serious. But as somebody who works in this field, I can tell you this is real. This thing is real. And they're saying like, well, it's the media that's blowing that out of proportion. I'm like, no, they're just reporting as to how it is. I can
All
I
they're
can tell you
doing.
that.
Yep.
Um, they um, but every morning when I get to work, we usually have a quick huddle and we get some updates as to what's going on and all that. And it's the fuck is that?
Oh, I accidentally clicked on stop video. My bad. Is my profile picture.
Oh,
It's a sombrero.
that
You
is
want to
put that back.
you want to see it again?
Put it back. That that is hold on, I need to screenshot this shit because because
Is that
I'm gonna use
cultural
this like
appropriation?
that is some cultural appropriation shit, Whitey.
Is
Okay,
it? Is it? If
yeah,
my son is Mexican,
you're not Mexican, but
my kin
dude,
is. My
you
kin
you
is.
are you are the Frito Bandito right there, buddy.
That was for Cinco de Mayo at my job, dude.
That is so stupid. Good stuff. Use it. Uh,
That's why it's
but
there. It's such a stupid
but
picture.
but yeah, but for real though, I've managed to keep it as calm and collected as possible with all that. But then there's the dad side of me, the family man side of me, where I do feel like every time I feel like some sort of little symptom come up, I freak out a little bit, right? And I will say that like these last 2 weeks, allergy season has been so bad, man, where I have to take an Allertech every morning, right? And if you hear me sniffling, that's what it is. It's my allergies, and on top of that, I'm asthmatic. So I think I'm a little bit of higher risk than a lot of people, and and I freak out about that. I'm like, I freak out. What if I get this shit? And and I die from it. But even that's not the scariest thing from it, me dying. what if I get this shit and I bring it into my house and give it to my family, you know? And I personally do know people who are affected by this thing, you know? So so there is a level of fear, but I try to keep it as cool as possible all the time, because what can you do? You're not gonna ball up like and create a little bubble around you. You still kind of have to function,
Yeah, I
and
mean, it,
you
it
can't show your family that you're too scared either. I guess, I mean, call that the fucking machismo thing, but you
well, no, I think it's just a parent thing. Like
yeah,
even there's ladies out there that have to do this too. Like they got
yeah.
to put a brave face on for their kids, for their families.
Right. Keep it as
You know,
normal as possible. I have a
I ha-
6-year-old who asks me about this stuff all the time, who's afraid at the fact that I still go to work at a hospital. And during my shift when I'm out there, even though I tell her there's days, baby, there's days that I don't interact with any patients or anything like that, but I still have to video chat with her to let her know that I'm okay. You
right.
know, she's 6 years old, and you kind of have to.
No, I mean, dude, it makes total sense. Like my wife is a little freaked out about it, and I have to just be like chill and mellow. And like, all right, well, we have a doctor's appointment for my son tomorrow for a flu shot, and
Yeah.
we have to leave the house and we have to go to a hospital and get this shot and then go home, and it should be fine. But it's just a weird time. So,
Yeah, where's a weird time, and when you leave the house and all that, and the streets are empty,
dude,
and
yeah,
there is a certain level of melancholy that kind of takes you over. It's kind of really kind of like apocalyptic of sorts, right? But one thing, and you know, a lot of people gonna be like, Really? What the fuck, Manny?" But I'm going to share what I've been doing to kind of help me cope with that. Is that when I'm driving to and from work, and when I have to drive somewhere to run an errand or something, I've actually been listening to Christmas music.
no, nice,
Yeah, I listen to Christmas music, and
cheer you up.
well, yeah, because for me at least, Christmas time is a happy time, right? And but there is a certain level of melancholy that comes with the holiday as well.
Hmm.
So, for me at least, and so, but the Christmas cheer part of it, that aspect of it, kind of takes the melancholy, accepts that it's there, but kind of comforts the melancholy. Does that make sense? So whatever melancholy I'm feeling now and the stress of it, whatever little aura of sadness that I feel with seeing what I'm seeing, I kind of trick my brain into believing it's this time of year, so that cheer kind of wraps itself around the melancholy, and it psychologically, that's what it does for me, and it helps. And even at the office when I'm at work, sometimes when I'm doing paperwork or whatever the case may be, I'll have it played like on my phone a little bit on the background, and that kind of works it. And I've had coworkers come from behind and they're like, "Hey, you listening to Christmas music?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, huh, that does work, so like they have me like playing it louder. And so it's something. And if, maybe about a week ago I read that like people all over the country, they're starting to like put their Christmas lights up again, just to kind of, I don't
Get
know,
that
like trick
cheer.
your brain. Like,
Get that
yeah,
cheer.
trick your brain into believing that it's a happier time, right? So whatever works, man, whatever works. And that works for me.
That's good. That's good, man. That's what you get. You do what you got to do, dude. It's a weird time.
True. Yeah, that's a weird time, but it doesn't have to, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom.
No, no,
And
no, no, not at all.
because if you do that, you're going to stress yourself like to no end, and that's going to actually make you physically sick, right? And if you're physically sick, you're a lot more susceptible to a lot of viruses, and that's what's going on right now. So you got to keep your system, make sure that your firmware is up to date, you know. And so that's my recommendation. That's my 2 cents, and that's me not trying to make fun of any of this or anything like that. But this is a real side of me right now, and that's what I'm feeling.
Manny's moment is brought to you by the coronavirus
And beer.
and Lagunitas IPA.
By the way, what did you say you're drinking? Did we get to that?
No, we didn't. But I was drinking a lovely Stone IPA.
and I'm drinking a Lagunitas IPA. Look at you with your IPA, your fucking hipster with your fucking hipster mustache. And there's this right here. By the way, I think the last recording that we did, I was still technically clean shaven. I stopped shaving. I'm like, fuck it.
That's
Even
why
when
I
I'm going
grew.
to work, I'm like,
That's why I grew my mustache. I'm like, look, if anybody's gonna be a creep, it's gonna be me in my own home.
it's gonna be hilarious seeing who's really gray around work, and hair salons are shut down, so women's roots are gonna show.
I know I
Um,
have grays like all through
look at
here.
look at
So.
this, look
Oh
at this,
yeah,
all
I
this
got, I
that.
got that. I got
But
that.
yeah, but a lot you're gonna notice a lot of women's natural hair colors out there. But you know what I'm worried about right now is that I feel like once we get up and running again, I'm not gonna fit into my regular clothes anymore.
Yeah, you're too
I
fat.
feel like I feel like even though I'm not eating out like a bunch of junk food or anything like that, I'm eating a lot more. My wife makes me make sure I'm fed, and so
I'm
and
snacking. I'm snacking a
yeah,
little more.
snacking a lot. I'm drinking a lot more beer now, and it's just kind of like, oh man, I'm gonna get chubby because of
We're
this.
just gonna have to roll you into the office.
At least as long as it's 6 feet off above the ground, man, I'm okay with that.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah. All right.
I think. What else we want to talk about? Is that it?
I think that's it for
I
now.
think so. Yeah. I mean,
I think this was actually very therapeutic for me, man.
good. Me too, man. I'm
Yeah.
glad we because like usually like around like 9:30 at night, if I have nothing to do, I'm usually tired. My body's just like tired. But like
Yeah.
I'm glad we started chatting. We started doing this, so it's important. So um,
But not
let's.
just that, like it's important to kind of know that other friends of yours and other dudes, I guess, are kind of feeling like they're going through the same thing, so you don't feel
I
like
think
it's
all
just
of
you
us are.
overreacting.
I
Yeah.
think all of us are going through the same stuff. Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
stay as positive as possible and be and clever, but it's like I miss sports. I just signed up for a basketball league and I can't
Yeah.
play it. I can't even go to the park and maybe shoot around. Maybe I can. Like I don't know. Like you know, my kid is so young. I just don't want to do anything to do anything stupid. So I'll just
Yeah.
stay at home and hopefully not gain too much weight and go from
No
there.
promises. No promises, man. But you know what? I think in the spirit of things, I think, because we are geek dads and all that, I think in upcoming episodes we should include other friends of ours because it's easier for them to like come on board because of Zoom.
Yep.
And I think we should do that.
Yeah, I think we should too. And I'm going to do this for everybody out there because it is that time. Just stay safe, everybody. Use some sanitizer. Wash your hands. It's pretty simple to do. I mean, look, sanitizer's not the thing you should be really doing. You should be washing your hands. But I mean, if you can't do that, I
Not
think
just that. Not just that, man.
I'm
But
Gal Gadot, and I approve this message.
yeah. Imagine all the people. But if you don't really have to be out and about, stay the fuck home. Please just stay the fuck home. Because do you guys want martial law?
It's
Because
gonna
that's how we get
happen.
martial law. If just today, there is still footage of motherfuckers gathered all over Florida and beaches. Okay,
Look, we should
or at parks, or I'm just like,
we should,
why?
what's funny is that for my job we like test in Florida, and then I asked a question in a meeting one day. I'm like, why are we basing our business decisions on people's in Florida? And they're like, huh, that's a good question. And I was like, yeah, that's a really good
Florida
fucking
fucks everything out. That is
yeah, that
literally
fucking
America's
shit.
butthole, right? Nothing but shit comes out of there.
It's like an appendix. It's useless. It's just there.
Yeah, man, it's just like what the shit, dude. They are a fucking wart that like should be removed because they're almost cancerous, and they like every 4 years during our elections they just really fuck shit up, you know. But anyway, man, yeah. If you don't really have to be out, just stay the fuck home.
That's it.
This is
Listen to Manny.
what a great time to just be fucking lazy. All
Oh yeah.
right, just
We have internet, we have family, and
and
we
if you're
have your
collecting
health.
unemployment, nobody's gonna make you feel like an asshole for being on unemployment. No, if anything,
Nope.
guess what? It's a spirit of the times, right?
And this is
So
literally the definition of not your fault. So I mean,
not
just
this is not your fault. This is not like, oh, because you're a product of society and you're being lazy. I'm like, no, it's just because this is fucking going on. All right.
Yeah.
So just literally just stay home, wear your fucking sweatpants, get fat, and watch your fucking horrible shows. That's it. That's all
That's
you
it.
literally have to do to make sure that this world keeps going. That's
That's
it.
it. One thing we will do probably in a couple episodes is have a check-in on the Mandalorian. Um, we haven't done that in a minute, so we'll do that in a little bit. But we won't talk about it today because I don't want to. But we will soon.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the
Manny,
way.
tell folks where they can find our lovely show.
That's right, everybody. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at the Nerdlot. That's the Nerdlot. You can find us on our website for all real information at thenerdlot.com. But also, our podcast can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, TuneIn. Where the hell else are we? Stitcher, and we're everywhere. And now
YouTube.
we're on YouTube. That's right. So all the audio comes with video and it gets posted on YouTube. So be sure to follow us on YouTube. Where's the fucking camera? Right there. Like us and subscribe and spread the love. Spread the love. Look at all these superheroes right here.
Spread the love within your own home.
Spread the love.
Or Manny will come to your house and kill you.
I will fucking kill you.
By coughing on you.
No, I don't have coronavirus, though.
With his butthole.
No, by the way, just so you know, if you purposely sneeze or cough on somebody right now saying that you're coronavirus, you can be fucking charged for terrorism. I am not even fucking joking. You can be charged for terrorism.
Who would have thought in not even 3 months into 2020 that the biggest things in this country would be licking ice cream and then putting it back on the shelf and fake coughing on people saying you have coronavirus?
Have you seen these assholes saying that they are beautiful and therefore they're immune to all disease and they will go and lick a fucking toilet seat? Have you seen that?
I have seen it. It's horrifying.
I'm like, bruh. There's all these like the spring breakers still going out and partying. And I'm like, you know what? If they get this fucking thing and they get sick, they better not run to a hospital asking for a ventilator. Do not. And let Charles Darwin's philosophy kind of play out.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it was great hanging out with you. I love it.
It was, man. It was a lot of fun.
It really was. It was a lot of fun. Let's include some friends into the next conversation here. Check in. When do you want to meet up again?
I know. We'll text maybe in a few days. We have the time. So
because I don't have to pre-record a show for my radio show for next Saturday. So even if you want like next Friday or
yeah, I know. We'll text our buddy, see if he can get on the show, and see what day works out.
Rock and roll, man.
All right, brother.
Till then, man. My name is Manny.
My name is Brandon.
And we are
the Nerdlot. Peace.
Till then.